Which one sounds more attractive? Are you annoyed by influencers? Do you think Instagrammers who write to companies asking for free stuff should be ashamed of themselves? Does it piss you off that young men and women make hundreds of dollars just by posting pictures of food and clothes? Well, then this video is for you. Or maybe not. Guten Morgen, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of Drink and Discuss. This week's topic is influencers and content creators. What's the difference? And this week's drink is very strong. This here is an Adios MotherF-er. The recipe was sent to me by Amy. Thank you so much. If you want to see all the alcohol that's in it and how I made it, follow the link up here or in the description below. Let's talk about the word influencer. The meaning behind this word and the way it is used in our society has changed a lot over the past few years. Wouldn't you agree? Nowadays, I feel like a lot of people use this as like a slander, like a way to insult people. And I get put into that category sometimes. I've seen posts on Facebook of people shaming other people who use social media as a way to make their living, and I am one of those people. My other channel, The Very Unofficial Travel Guides, has over 12 million views, and yes, I do make money with it, which is all invested back into the channel, by the way. People come to my channel, come to my Facebook page, go to my Instagram page because they want to learn about traveling, they want to be entertained, maybe they just want to be distracted for a little bit, and those are the services that I provide. However, there is a difference between what I do and what I would consider a traditional influencer does, and that's what I want to talk about today after I have another sip. Woo! In order to get to the core of why I get annoyed by people getting annoyed by influencers, we have to talk about what it is that an influencer does that's different than what I do. And let me just say in advance, I have no problem with influencers. I respect their art form and the way they work because I totally understand what it's like. And the first and maybe the most important thing that everybody needs to understand about this is, it is a job. Let me say it again. Being an influencer or a YouTuber or a content creator, it's a job. It is work. It is getting paid for providing a service. I mean, if you work in a restaurant, then there's a company or, a boss who is like, I will pay you this much money to cook food for my guests. If you work in an office, then your boss, your company, whoever is paying you money to sit at that desk, answer the telephone, and analyze those reports. And if you work in construction, then there's somebody paying you money to assemble those cabinets and install them into the kitchen. Someone is paying you money to provide a service. And that is very similar to what it's like to produce content for social media. However, almost all of us are freelancers. And I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more in a second. A true influencer is somebody who's being paid by a company to present a product in a positive way in order to influence more people to purchase that product or service or whatever it is. I don't understand why so many people have a problem with that. I know that some people bring up the point that these influencers are pretending to like a product, they're faking it in order to make people think that they really like it, which makes them want to have it too. And I think, really, that's the problem? You think it's wrong that somebody is accepting money to pretend like they like a product? I saw a commercial for Heineken from Neil Patrick Harris. I'm sure Neil Patrick Harris loves popping open a few brews with the bros and watching the game. Don't you? Jennifer Aniston was in commercials for Aveeno lotion. Aveeno lotion, it costs like $8 at the drugstore. But I'm sure that the way it happened was this millionaire, famous person, Jennifer Aniston, who could afford any skin products that she wants, was probably, down at her local drugstore, walking through the aisles, looking at products, and she saw this Aveeno and thought, a lotion for $8, I think I like that. And then she took it home and she tried it, and then she got in touch with them to say, I really like your $8 lotion. It's Jennifer Aniston here. Can I be in your commercials? Hell no. Jennifer Aniston doesn't use Aveeno lotion. Another example, Hugh Jackman is in commercials for Lipton iced tea. In these commercials, he gets so happy that he starts dancing and splashing around in a puddle. People, all advertising is fake. Did you not know that? If you didn't, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but frickin' Wolverine Hugh Jackman is not gonna take a drink of iced tea and then start dancing in a puddle unless there is a lot of money involved. Did you not know that? Companies need to advertise their products. They look for opportunities to reach potential customers. Sometimes they spend $1 million and use Julia Roberts. Sometimes they spend a couple hundred and use an Instagrammer. Instagram models are doing the same thing that Neil Patrick Harris and Jennifer Aniston are doing. They're just doing it for a lot less. And there's something else really important about the process that you should know. And it has to do with the amount of work involved to finish the product. Getting parched. When Neil Patrick Harris shoots a commercial for Heineken, he literally just needs to show up, say his 4 lines, hold the beer just like this, and he goes home with a check for several $100,000, if not $1 million. Somebody is designing the costume, somebody did his makeup, somebody did his hair. There's a camera team, there's a director, there's a lighting designer, there's an entire crew, somebody edits it together. All he does is show up, say his 4 lines, and hold the beer. That is all set up by the production company. Doogie Howser ain't doing it. When an Instagrammer gets a paid promotion, unless we're talking about like the highest level, like the Kardashians, then most of the time they are doing all that work themselves. Or if they do have to hire a photographer or a stylist or a makeup artist or something like that, that's coming out of their budget. It's coming out of the money that they're getting paid to do it. And the budgets are so much smaller. Look, this is FameBit. It is an official page from YouTube that helps creators find collaborators, find potential sponsorships. And look at these offers. We're talking like $100, $500, maybe there's a couple for $1,000 or something like that. But imagine how many of these things you'd have to do to make as much money as Jennifer Aniston does for promoting Aveeno lotion. The life of an influencer is not easy. And I feel like there's also the impression that it's not really work. Do you know how much time and work goes into uploading 2 videos a week to YouTube and running all the websites and the e-commerce ventures that are attached to it? Some weeks I spend literally all my free time in front of my computer working on it. Editing videos, uploading videos, writing proposals, writing scripts, planning travel, planning shots. It takes so much time. If you watch all the videos on this channel, the trying vegan cheese video that I just uploaded, that took me like 2.5 days to finish, which was honestly a lot longer than I thought too. So to all you haters out there that don't think it's work, I'm sorry, you are wrong. Oh, and to anyone who's thinking they want to start a career in social media because it's really easy and it's not work, ooh, I am sorry, but you are wrong. Don't start a career in social media if you think it's because it's easy. Tastes like a nap. Now I want to focus on something else that I see all the time, and that is posts on social media, like on Facebook, of people making fun of like screenshots of where influencers have written to businesses asking for something. You know, like written to a hotel asking for a free room, or written to a restaurant asking for a free meal, things like that. We love to share these posts and make fun of these idiots, right? But let me explain something to you. Working as an influencer, a social media content creator, we're all freelancers. That means, you know, it's not like full-time income. Nobody's promising any sort of stability when it comes to the work. You work and you get paid based on short-term agreements. You know, like a wedding photographer. If you're getting married, then you hire a photographer and you pay them based on like, you know, 1 or 2 days of work and then the amount of photographs that they print for you. It's not like you're putting them on your payroll and you're paying them for 12 months and giving them benefits. It's just like that for us. And anyone who's ever worked as a freelancer knows that a really important part of the work that you do is presenting yourself to clients who maybe will want to work with you and give you a job. You have to put yourself out there and let people know what it is you do, how you do it, and hopefully some of those people will then eventually want to work with you when they need whatever it is that you're good at. And yes, a lot of social media influencers didn't go to college. Oh my gosh, how horrible is that somebody's working and didn't go to college? How many people that work in the restaurant or the entertainment or the attractions industry are very successful and didn't go to college? Seriously. I mean, if you've got a great eye for colors and shapes and you really enjoy decorating and design, and you can find a way to make money off of that by designing rooms and taking pictures of it and uploading them to Instagram, why wouldn't you want to do that? And what is wrong with people doing that? I don't understand. Okay, but back to the letters asking for goodies, and it all sort of ties into itself. Let's say you're looking for a job at your local theme park or a restaurant or a hardware store or something like that. What is the first step you have to take in order to let them know that you are interested in providing them services in exchange for money? You have to send them your resume or fill out an application. If you need a job, how often does it happen that you're sitting at home on the couch watching Netflix and the telephone rings and it's some HR department who's like, oh, we saw that you're sitting at home watching Netflix, but we need you for a job. Come on over and sign a contract. No, it doesn't work that way. You need to present yourself and your skills and hope that somebody wants to work with you. And that is exactly what these letters that everybody shares on Facebook and makes fun of, that is exactly what these people are doing. These letters written to hotels and bars and restaurants and whatever, that is us sending out our resume and hoping some fish is gonna bite and we're gonna maybe make a little bit of money or maybe get a little bit of goodies sent our way in order to keep producing content. And if we don't write to these companies, how will they know that we're interested in working together? And yes, I agree. I've read these things and I know, these people who have 500 followers and write to, you're not gonna get a suite at the Bellagio if you have 500 Instagram followers. That's obvious, to me anyways. However, if you don't ask, they can't say no. You know what I mean? Aren't there jobs that you've applied for that would be like your dream job, but you're not really qualified for it, but you think, okay, well, I'm just gonna send my resume anyways, and who knows, let's see what happens. Those people with 500 followers writing to the Bellagio, it's the same thing. They're going out on a limb, and maybe it'll work, and maybe it won't. There's nothing wrong with that. Drink. All right, now that I've gotten that much out of my system, I've got a little bit more to say. I'm just gonna take one more drink. It loosens the lips, I want to tell you about why I consider what I do on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides and, here on this new channel too, why I feel like that's a little bit different than what a traditional standard influencer does. I consider myself a content creator and not an influencer, and this is why. The things that a pure influencer posts online, be it Instagram stories, YouTube videos, Facebook posts, those are things that they wouldn't post unless somebody was paying them for it. They are fueled by the purpose of promoting a product in return for money. It's just advertising. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is advertising all around us. But yeah, the higher level influencers, if they weren't getting paid, they wouldn't post anything, basically. But that's not what I do, and that's not what so many people do, especially on YouTube. And the people who are in the circles that I'm in, like travel vloggers and stuff like that, that's not really what we do. I consider myself a content creator or a video producer or a vlogger, an entertainer, but not an influencer. Nobody is paying me to try to manipulate people into buying something. I do get paid, but it's from the ads that run on my videos and the amazing support of the people who are members over at patreon.com/veryunofficial. It's very, very rare that I get paid or offered anything in exchange for what I do online from a company. I would say probably 98% of what you see here and on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides has been paid for, funded, planned, shot, written, edited, and uploaded by me. I'll drink to that. Like I said, I do make money from what I do, but it's from the ads that run on my video, and it's not from somebody who's like, here, take this money and make something about what we do. And like I said, I do get goodies thrown at me sometimes, and you know what? I love it. It's amazing, and yes, it helps me make more content, and that's great. A couple months ago, I made a video on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides about cruisers getting or YouTubers getting cruises for free, and I got a lot of really interesting feedback about that video. And a lot of people wrote that they were worried that if I started getting cruises and my travel expenses paid for by the cruise lines, that it would be hard to trust what it is I say about the cruises, because I would feel obligated to say something positive if the cruise line was paying for me to be there. And in a way, yeah, I mean, if that is the toss-up, I guess, in a way that could happen, yeah. But please, put yourself in my position for a second. Let's say you've booked a Disney World vacation with your family, and you have spent $5,000 for this vacation, and that's a lot of money. And then you show up and you're waiting in line to check in at your all-star sports resort, and you're thinking about how much money you're gonna spend on the buffalo wing popcorn at Epcot, and the super expensive drinks in Oga's Cantina, and the princess makeover for your daughter at the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. And all of a sudden, somebody from Disney approaches you in the line and says, "Are you Mr. So-and-so?" And you say, "Well, yes, I am." And they say, "We've noticed that you have 5,000 followers on Instagram, and we'd like to make an offer to you. If you would be willing to post 5 pictures this week of you and your family having fun, then we're gonna comp your room for a night and give you a $100 gift certificate. Are you interested?" Would you say no? Would you? Those are the kind of opportunities that all of us would love. And those of us who make our living or part of our living by producing content for social media, we need those opportunities. We need them to stay afloat and feed our channels with content. And remember, this is the stuff that helps you plan your trips, get information about hotels, figure out if you want to buy that pair of pants, decide what you want to make for dinner that night. It's not like nobody's looking at this stuff, you know what I mean? People enjoy looking at it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have 12 million views on my channel. All right, now just for a second, let's talk about it from the other side, from the perspective of a company who is interested in advertising something. And Disney is a terrible example because they obviously have millions of dollars for their advertising budget. But let's say that you have just opened a new bar in some suburb outside of Minneapolis or something. It's a dream you've always had, you've spent your life savings and you've taken out a loan, you're really confident that this is gonna be a great bar, but still, you're gonna need to let people know that you're open and it exists. How do you do that? By advertising. That's how it works. Now, you could pay an advertising agency to do the marketing research, create an ad campaign, hire a model, hire a photographer, create content, and then from the content that they make, pay to have some commercial run on television. But we all know that social media is really the jackpot when it comes to advertising nowadays. So if you want people to see these pictures that you've made, you're going to have to pay Facebook or Instagram or whatever to create a sponsored post out of it, to force feed it onto people's pages. Or you could just invite 100 local Instagrammers, offer them free drinks, make sure they use the hashtag, and you are automatically reaching thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who are all potential customers in your area. Which one sounds more attractive? What do you guys think of all this? Have I opened your eyes to anything? Have I changed anybody's mind? Do you now have a greater understanding of what it's like to work in this industry, why it exists, and why sometimes the people do what they do? Let me know in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you back here next week. Bye-bye.